I said, tell me how to pronounce the names of all the new hires. And that goes off and finds the presentation without me saying, reads the presentation, figures out where the new hires are, loops through all of them, and figures out their highest probability nationality and tells me how to pronounce them. I don't have to go bug people to figure that out. It's awesome. It saves me time.
In the first instance, it's underpinned by Anthropic's Claude, right? And you're going to tell me, well, this is interim, and we're going to look at all kinds of different model options. We're model agnostic. But it is an interesting and the latest example of how Claude helps people in the enterprise get to market quick. What was your experience of that, Rob?
The biggest thing for us was being able to take an LLM, pick it up, and set it down in our infrastructure in a way that our customers' data never left our security boundary and wasn't used for the training of the model. And that's what we got with Anthropic and Claude. And on top of that, we've done a bunch of sophisticated prompt and context engineering that makes Slackbot deeply personal and a deeply personal agent to every single person that uses it.
Robert, how are you thinking about security?
I mean, it's paramount for us. It's been something that's been the very, very top of our priorities since the foundation of Slack. And so Slackbot is a personal agent. It needs to be deeply trusted by the user, but also deeply trusted by the enterprise. And so what we do is the user, the Slackbot is acting on behalf of the user. So it can access the information that a user can, their direct messages, their private channels, and the public channels within a particular Slack instance. And then, as I mentioned before, from a company perspective, you can rest assured that your data is not being used to train the model, nor is it leaving the security boundary. So it's all adhering to your existing security policies in Slack.
This is all about return on AI investment. It's all about making it clear to me, to you, to the users that this stuff saves you time, makes you more productive. How are you measuring that, Rob?
We don't measure individual productivity, but we do measure the usage of Slackbot. So we measure the penetration, so the number of users that actually use Slackbot over the number of users that have access to it, but a week-over-week retention and then message intensity. And that allows us to approximate the value that's being created. And the week-over-week retention for Slackbot is higher than any other feature we've ever had in Slack. And the message intensity keeps growing. And to us, that's a quantitative signal of qualitative value that's being derived from our users for time savings. But also we're seeing, like through our qualitative surveys, people use this for brainstorming and creative pursuits that we didn't even expect.
Rob Seaman, Slack interim CEO. Been great speaking with you about Slackbot and see how it catches on. Meanwhile, let's take a look at shares of Spotify right now. And indeed, over the start of the year, well, off by 9%. That's, of course, when the new co-CEOs have joined the company. Gustav Soderstrom, Alex Nordstrom took over as from the Spotify founder, Daniel Ek. Now, they've both been at the business for a long time, but Ek himself grew the platform from money suck to one of the most powerful businesses in the music industry. And the new CEOs have to steer that powerful ship around some pretty tough headwinds. AI, angry creators, user fatigue. To turn around that share drop, Bloomberg's actually come and has been writing about all of this by the audio giant's leadership transition. It's in Business Week. And there are a lot of headwinds. What is front and center for them? How are they taking on the algos and the AI story?
They're coming with a lot of different products that they're hoping will kind of buy them some time and also maybe address some of what users want to do. So for example, they're integrating Spotify into ChatGPT. They've made a partnership with Meta on its glasses. They are letting you enter prompts to get a playlist in return using even like online context so that you can get the top rated albums of the year from Pitchfork or something like that. So they really want to give people both this personalization, more options, showing up where people are. Podcasts are coming to Netflix. They're really trying to meet people where they are rather than forcing them to just come to Spotify.
YouTube, not a new issue, but the biggest in front of them, it seems like. It's very detailed in the Business Week story, this competition for eyeballs, and YouTube is the thing on both of those CEOs' desks right now, actually.
Yes, YouTube, Spotify has moved into video. One of the scoops from our story is that they're now actually focusing on fitness content. So as a result of them pushing into video podcasts, creators who we see on YouTube that actually put out guided workouts have started uploading their content to Spotify, and Spotify is seeing that people really enjoy that content. So instead of just using playlists to soundtrack their runs, they're actually watching yoga on Spotify, for example. So this is an area they're pretty excited about and seem to be investing in.
We know a lot about Daniel Ek. We've sort of grown up alongside him as he's taken this European success story global. What do we know about the co-CEOs? Who are they? What are their descents? What are they about?
So both of them are Swedish. Alex is of half Chinese, half Swedish descent. His mother was a single mother. She ran a Chinese restaurant growing up. He's really kind of the culture guy. He gets a playlist regularly that keeps him on top of trends. It seems like he's really sort of a social person who's doing all these partnership deals with the labels and audiobooks and such. Gustav, formerly really focused on product, now co-CEO, also Swedish. He sold a startup to Yahoo back in 2006. He did a stint in the Swedish military, and he's really tech philosophy focused. He was really excited about a book he read up from the inventor of quantum computing. So he really gets deep on that. And supposedly the two of them together are really like a yin and yang. They go well together. A fun tidbit, Nordstrom means North Stream. Soderstrom means South Stream. So it's written in the universe, I guess.
This really is a must-read on Bloomberg Online or in a magazine coming to you very soon in Business Week. Bloomberg's actually Carmen with the deep dive on Spotify. Thank you very much. Caro, that does it for another edition of Bloomberg Tech. Markets still continuing to start the year pretty hot.
Pretty hot. Well, we're under pressure if you're looking at big tech, but that
Bloomberg Tech is live from coast to coast with Caroline Hyde in New York and Ed Ludlow in San Francisco.
This is Bloomberg Tech. Coming up, the US Commerce Department moves closer to allowing NVIDIA to sell its H200 AI chips to China.
plus robotics startup Skilled AI just closed a $1.4 billion funding round, tripling its valuation in 7 months. We'll discuss with the CEO, Deepak Pathak.
And Netflix is working to revise its bid for Warner Brothers Discovery, shifting to an all-cash offer.
As you see, though, those names in the red, and in general, the market on the downside, we still got geopolitical anxiety, we still got earnings coming thick and fast, and we still got a Nasdaq 100 off by 1.5%. Not so in the world of commodities. A search for safety, a bid as the dollar falls. We see 2.8% higher on the Bitcoin rally, so maybe a bit of catch up with digital gold, where we see spot gold and a new record high, up 0.7%. Copper, all important commodity to our world of AI and data centers, Ed. We're at a new record high on an intraday basis. We're up 0.5%, just coming off of that high on the day. But Ed, it's notable and shift of this year.
Right, rules and requirements are changing in the world of AI chips. The US Commerce Department out with clarification, which impacts NVIDIA and its H200 that it wants to ship to China, but also impacts AMD as well. AMD has been trading all over the place this morning, at one point notably higher in the session, but NVIDIA markedly down, now trading at its lowest level in around a month. What are these new rules and what do they mean, and why is this significant? Bloomberg senior tech editor Mike Shepard joins us out of DC. Lay out the new rules and requirements for us, but what we're saying in the Bloomberg story is this marks a significant moment for the companies in their efforts to sell into China. Why?
Well, this is a small but critical bureaucratic step that paves the way for NVIDIA and AMD to be able to sell H200 and comparable AI chips to China. What it does is it now says that the US government will review requests for export licenses on a case-by-case basis and move away from the past policy of a presumption of denial of any such request. And that had in the past been really an effective export ban. Now, these companies can't be there expecting a rubber stamp for their requests. The US government is laying out some pretty specific requirements. One, that the companies must show that the exports to China will not create a supply shortage here. This is addressing in a way some of the concerns that lawmakers here in Washington have been raising with attempts to pass their own version of export controls. Two, they must show that any manufacturing done for China must not displace any production capacity intended for US customers here. And three, the companies must implement strict know your customer procedures to ensure that these chips and the related technology don't get out to unauthorized users.
It's interesting, Mike, that we are seeing NVIDIA down on the day and AMD. Do we get any sense of how many they might be able to ship? Because it's not without its intricacies. As you say, 50% of the overall made in the US.
Well, it is the question of the moment surrounding this rule, just how this cap that it lays out would function. The rule says that the exports to China can go no more than 50% of total product here in the US. But does that mean H200s produced from this day going forward? If that's the case, it would not be a very big set, and it would mean a far smaller number of exports to China, and that would certainly not go anywhere near meeting the huge demand that Jensen Huang has said that he is getting from Chinese customers, and we have reported that Alibaba and ByteDance are interested in buying as many as 200,000 chips each. Now, if we are talking about all the H200s produced over all time, that would be a much bigger universe, and that would be a much happier outcome for NVIDIA, AMD, and their investors. So we will have to see exactly how that is interpreted, if that gets spelled out. Another big question, Carol, is how quickly the government can move to actually process these export requests, because we have been hearing over the past year and longer that they are simply running into capacity problems in the bureaucracy of commerce in being able to turn these around.
Bottlenecks throughout the world of AI. Mike Shepherd, thanks so much. Let's stick with what this means for NVIDIA and more broadly for semiconductors. Beth Kindig's with us, IO Fund lead tech analyst. So is this a $50 billion annual revenue opportunity? Is China that for NVIDIA?
Hi, Caroline. Jensen Huang has stated it's a $50 billion per year annual opportunity. When we left off, it was about $5 billion a quarter. That's $25 billion. So somewhere between $25 billion and $50 billion, which really means that as we look into analyst estimates, they are probably too low. And that has been something from the very beginning that we have found alpha in, is that analysts are really struggling to wrap their head around the opportunity of NVIDIA. And now here comes back the H200s. And where my firm is very focused is calendar year 2027. If you look at these estimates, they are too low as it is, let alone if China revenue resumes.
What's really interesting though is China's response to all of this. You say it's too low, how much might be the revenue for NVIDIA in China? But at the same time, we understand that DeepSeek's driving new models. We're seeing them use what they have in the different method that maybe Alibaba and Baidu don't need those 200,000 that they've already put up efforts and offers in for. What do you make of the way in which China is going to pivot to domestic chips?
I would argue that right now, the number I had was about 2 million H200s, and there's only about 700,000 available, which means that, once again, NVIDIA is oversubscribed. I have been asked before, who is the next NVIDIA? Is it something like Huawei? You know, is it Google's GPUs? And the answer is the next NVIDIA is NVIDIA. They are extremely hard to disrupt, and that goes for China or even United States competitors.
Beth, taking into account the news story that Mike Shepherd just brought us, Jensen Huang told us at CES that the $500 billion forecast for 5 fiscal quarters, it includes this one for Blackwell Rubin, could get bigger because they could factor in some H200 sales in 26. I know 27 to a year, but have you modeled for that little update that Jensen Huang gave?
Yes, so right now the analyst estimates did actually catch up. They're about 320 billion this calendar year. Let's just go with 2026. I want to really emphasize that it's next calendar year that we're going to start to see analyst estimates too low. That is where the alpha is at right now. And it only takes 1 or 2 quarters for us to really see NVIDIA's price movement from all of the momentum we're seeing, not only from Blackwell Ultra, but then we've got Vera Rubin, second half of this year. Now we have the H200s coming back. Where that falls specifically in what quarter matters less to me, and what matters more is that those analyst estimates are far too low.
Beth, the big story in global markets this morning is a blistering rally in metals, particularly copper. Copper, as S&P Global wrote January 8th, foundational to the expanding electricity supply that will power the data center build out. And it's now a big growth area in that market. How worried are you about that? Copper in the supply chain and how it relates to the power needs of the data centers that NVIDIA's chips go into?
These are excellent questions, Ed. Across the board, resources when it comes to this data center expansion are extremely stretched, especially anything that supports the electrical grid, such as copper. What I would really emphasize is those alternative sources of energy is a great way to position going into 2026. One thing too my firm has dug up is that in order for us to get to Vera Rubin and then Rubin Ultra, power has to precede that. We have to really get this power to these data centers before those systems can really ship in volume and be installed. Things like nat gas, even solid oxide fuel cells, those that do not need, great dependency on the electrical grid is a wonderful way to position, and copper surging today is a reminder of that.
What's interesting is we've hit NVIDIA, we're talking about the supply chain they're in. We're also getting the idea that CPUs is where it's at as well. And you just think about the moves that we've seen yesterday, today in Intel. I mean, where do you think the gluts or the bottlenecks are really going to be hitting hard? Analysts keep saying Intel and AMD are basically sold out for 2026 on the CPU server side.
Exactly, and what's even more interesting is that AMD was up more last year than NVIDIA.
Yeah.
And they are such a strong CPU player, as well as Intel. There are many bottlenecks, Caroline. Networking is another one that comes to mind. Of course, energy we just spoke about. Just keep in mind that it's not just GPUs, but there's almost an equal amount of money being spent on all of the components, all of the networking, all of the power, and we are no longer compute constrained. We're no longer GPU constrained. It really is becoming a power problem and a networking problem that needs to be solved, especially as we move into the inference market, which is only going to require more memory, more bandwidth, less latency, and more and more energy.
Beth, do AMD and Intel just accept that it's the CPU market where they can do battle and just let the accelerator market go to NVIDIA and other specialists?
No, I do not believe that will be the outcome. I think AMD is a strong contender, a strong number two, especially in the second half of this year. They've really been preparing to bring the rack scale architecture to market, which is called Helios. And I've covered AMD very thoroughly, and we could get into the specs all day long, but OpenAI giving them that 6 gigawatt deal is a massive nod. I mean, that is a big nod that AMD is a contender from the leading R&D firm.
Helios AMD's first rack scale solution, but theirs in the world's first 2nm chip inside, which they talked up in our interview last week. Beth Kindig of IO Fund, great to have you back on Bloomberg Tech. Thank you very much. Now, coming up, anger grows over sexually explicit, non-consensual, AI-generated images on X. We have the latest. This is Bloomberg Tech.
This is the part why, and I'll give you feedback on this so you can think about a couple things. This is why it's important to, we have a guy with us, I won't give the name of the client. He's been with us the last 6 years. He's been on our mastermind, but he comes on for 3 months and we don't see him for 9 months. And when he comes to 3 months, he goes like this, and then he comes back when there's problems. And he goes up like this, and he comes back when there's problems. And I'll ask him, are you going to a different place if you're not with us? Because all I care about is you're part of a mastermind. And specifically with somebody that's an expert operator, not somebody that's just a bunch of books and an MBA, because that's not going to help you. He says, no, I just come for 3 months and I leave. It's like, that's not going to do anything for you. You may as well don't come, because you're coming by the time there's fire again. Every year he comes back. This is how the first mastermind starts off with. You ready? Here's what he says. Hey, Patrick, you remember this? Of course I remember you. Well, we had a very good year the year before, and then all of a sudden those things we talked about, the company started growing, but the last 3 months have been very difficult, and we had to do this, and we have to do that, and I have to let go of my management team, and I have to upgrade. He didn't upgrade. He's looking for fixes and he leaves. So versus the mindset of constantly being in a place where you're on calls like this and you'll come, this is the part why, and I'll give you feedback on this so you can think about a couple things. This is why it's important to, we have a guy with us, I won't give the name of the client. He's been with us the last 6 years. He's been on our mastermind, but he comes back with 3 months and I leave. And what he says, hey, Like we have a guy with us. I won't give the name of the client. He's been with us the last 6 years. He's been on our masterminds, but he comes on for 3 months and we don't see him for 9 months. And when he comes to 3 months, he goes like this, and then he comes back when there's problems. And he goes up like this, and he comes back when there's problems. And I'll ask him, are you going to a different place if you're not with us? Because all I care about is you're part of a mastermind. And specifically with somebody that's an expert operator, not somebody that's just a bunch of books and an MBA, because that's not going to help you. He says, no, I just come for 3 months and I leave. It's like, that's not going to do anything for you. You may as well don't come, because you're coming by the time there's fire again. Every year he comes back. This is how the first mastermind starts off with. You ready? Here's what he says. Hey, Patrick, if you remember me, I said, of course I remember you. Well, we had a very good year the year before, and then all of a sudden, those things we talked about, the company started growing, but the last 3 months have been very difficult, and we had to do this, and we had to do that, and I had to let go of my management team, and I had to upgrade. He didn't upgrade. He's looking for fixes, and he leaves. So versus the mindset of constantly being in a place where you're on calls like this and you come in and you think you have, these two things that you want to address, that you want to fix with your company or yourself or a certain strategy. You'll get on a call, you came in for those two things, you leave with 4 things you weren't even thinking about. And those are the 4 things you really needed. But what if you're not in that meeting? What if you're not in that session? What if you're not around those other operators that are talking about the 4 issues they're facing? And that's really what you needed. So now let me go to the other part. The other part you have to be thinking about with a lot of the stuff that you're doing is, sometimes when you add new things to your swing that is working, and you're not allowing the compounding effects of the new way of doing things to catch up, because that compounding effect could take 3, 6, 12 months, 18 months, where it's not all of a sudden, boom. So you have to let it kind of build up. It's like bodybuilding. You go lift weights, you're doing stuff, you don't see a lot in 90 days. But you see it year, and you're like, okay, now that I got this going on, what do I do now? You have to let that momentum build up with your business to really see what is going to take place there. And then at the same time, making sure you're still making tweaks. You're making tweaks. You're like, okay, let's see what we can do with this comp here. Let's see what we can, like this year, we introduced a new comp to sales at BDC downstairs. Last week, we had our kickoff meeting on Tuesday for BDC, and Thursday was our kickoff meeting for the whole company. On Tuesday, we launched a whole new comp structure from manager up. So anything from 0 to manager, nothing changed. So comp from 0 to manager, Taylor, did we change anything 0? I don't think we changed anything 0 to manager, right? I think the numbers are all identical the same. Yeah. Yep. But from manager up, dramatically new changes. We introduced 4 new positions. From manager, to want to become a VP, we announced what it takes to become a vice president. Your salary goes up, because it's salary plus commission and benefits. We now go 75 manager plus commission. The average manager at our company right now makes $400,000. Makes not even $400,000. 850, 1 million. So 850, 250, do the math, probably $500,000 what the average manager makes at BDC right now. To become a VP, we raised the salary to 150. Then to become a principal, we raised the salary to $300,000 plus commission. And then at principal in the company, you only get to manage 100 clients, because your job is about developing other managers in the company. So you go from having 2,000 clients, 3,000 clients, 800 clients. You can only choose your top 100 clients. Everybody else goes to other people to manage those clients, because your time used to be more focused on developing people, less on managing your independent clients. Then the next position is partner. Partner salary is $450. The average partner at the company is going to make $2 to $4 million a year. And then senior partner salary $600,000. A senior partner could make $2 to $10 million a year based on the structure we do. And then we added LTIP, and then we added equity. All of that was announced last week. Last week was a revolutionary week for the entire company. It's a whole new company now. So then we addressed certain things that I'm looking at the patterns of months. What months do we not come out the gates? January. What do we do in February? What happens in March, April? I'm assessing every month to see, where could we have made up dollars? So you look at the numbers across the board, January through December for 2025, and you say, I think that month where we did 6 million, man, that was a sick month. But why did we only do 1.8 million in February? We could have done 2.7. So why did we only do 1.6 million in January? Why don't we start off with 2.5? And then you go and take and say additional 900,000 here, additional 500,000 here, additional 1.2 million here, additional 2 million here, additional 800,000 here. We could add an additional $12.5 million in XYZ. I'm just making numbers up. These are not I'm just spitballing with you with numbers. So to me, it's constantly finding ways to tweak better behavior, constantly finding ways to make better behavior, and then also statement to the company. One of our guys in the company who did almost $1 million for us last year, we fired him last week. And it was a very clear statement to everybody that we made. This guy's been with us for 2 years. He's a guy we actually like a lot. Standards casual. I've had one too many meetings with driving this guy. And then eventually he had the ability to come to the meeting, our kickoff meeting. It would have cost him an additional $900 to book his flight. He doesn't. He chooses to come a day later after the kickoff meeting for BDC. We're like, no, you're fired. You're gone. We sat him down. This is your last day. We love you. You're amazing. Wish you nothing but the best, but we're moving on. Everybody also needs to see the new standard in the company. So they need to see a new this. They need to see a new you.
What you just saw here is an interaction we're having with a CEO, founder, and executive, different challenges that they're facing at Bet David Consulting, a firm we run where we do engagements for many business owners from 60 plus countries around the world. It could be a person that's trying to exit and they need a pitch deck to be in place. It could be a company that's having a hard time with accountability with their executive team or their leadership team. They want to put a calibration system in place that we use ourselves. It could be a conversation about somebody that wants to improve their compensation plan to create a little bit more momentum and drive with their leadership team or their sales team. Or it could be conflicts between business partners that is taking place. A wide variety of things that we do for our clients at Bet David Consulting. If you want to learn more, go to betdavid.com, fill out the information. Somebody will get a hold of you.
General Mastermind, let's get right into it. A couple things that I want you to be thinking about as we're going into this. I just came out of our weekly CTO meeting. Yesterday, we had our offsite meeting all day, Ritz, from 8 a.m. to 8:30 p.m. It was all about BDC, Bet David Consulting. We dedicated the whole thing to Bet David Consulting. We sat there on ideas. We went through product flow, technology, one by one, data, what areas we need to improve with data for end of the year, between now and the end of the year, and then going into 2026, what things we need to get in place on 2026. And the entire time, as I'm going through this with the guys, all I'm looking at for myself and with our team is leaks. By the time we're done, every time we're finding the leak, I'm writing right next to it on my pad and on my iPad is how much is this leak on revenue that was lost last year? How much is this leak on how much revenue was lost? How much is this leak? How much is that leak? By the time we were done, my number is somewhere around $100 million of leaks that was lost, pure leaks. And then taking those leaks and having a meeting right now with our CTO. We had another offsite today from Minect. I wasn't a part of that all day today because I had a podcast. I've had my sales meeting. So my Minect team sat there together to discuss different ideas on what we're doing with Minect. And then they're going to come and propose it to me on what we're going to be doing. We already raised one round of capital with strategic partner Tony Robbins that just came in
We're in the discussions of the next one, and then there's going to be a couple other opportunities on what we're doing for 1/1 when we introduce Minect to the world. And Minect is now, we went from 43 countries to now I think we're at 180 different countries ourselves. So my number of Minects as I'm getting in conversations I'm having and people around the world, like right now I got 39 pending Minects that I have to respond to, where people ask me questions and from them I'm either referring them to other people, and now we're sitting there, we're writing out the roadmap of what it's going to happen with that and what it's going to look like. And then you have these shoes, and you'll see where I'm going with this. Everybody will understand where I'm going with this. These Futureless Pride shoes, 24 days in a row I've been wearing these, okay? 24 days in a row I've been wearing these. These same exact shoes, how we launched them, and a bunch of sizes have been sold out of what we're doing. Where am I going with this? Here's the question for you. When is the last time you shocked the market? When is the last?
I come through, give me something new. I come through, smoking that Scorpio, give me see things That shot, then you saw it. You already know who I am. I'm on point. Something. I come through, Mandalorio, give me something new. I come through, smoking that Scorpio, give me see things I come through, Yando, give me see things I come through, Provisado, give me see things Let's flow, God gave it to me, I was a little kid, walking through Harlem and Bronx. Walking with my mama to my new brother, it was time to get it on. Mama know with the best flow, I know I could go international. When I release every record, I'ma let them know about my squad. 5 brothers and beyond. I am from the Bronx, Barrel, a nigga too Darrow. Niggas wanna shoot, use a double barrel. Niggas shoot their business. Get my flow, they get pissed. I'm in this industry, not really. I'm in the music biz. I'm in this thing just to get filthy rich. Made with a shit. Focus from the beginning until the end. While this whole industry try to protect. Like, they don't understand. The same young man that had a plan. All they did. Yo, what you see, what we do again. Why all y'all agencies pretend? Yo, love and die. I just gotta hit him with one of my arms. So they go away to their road with. He's not making your head on kick. He got the big thing. Yo, little create. They think it's all my sons. They know I'm number one. You already know who it be. Nah, I just do this shit for fun. Do it for Harlem and the Bronx. Do it for a big girl and big pun. You realize the war has just begun. Like as I die, hold on. Don't put it on me. Oh, yeah, say no, you say que te gusta mi moda. Driving in that Felicia Skoda in Europe is over. They already know who got the best flow. God bless with it. Me, just so you know, I was walking alone in the streets of Harlem and the Bronx. I ain't even grown. settling soon. Tylenol like I don't know. That's why they overdosing on that fentanyl. But I know about birthday. Now they move unless they move to my squad. All murderers is who we are. I represent Adrian R. Building on apartment D. Bar 2463. Imagine this whack as in the street full of these fake ass MCs. Never having an opportunity to ever in their life or in their careers compete with me when they living out of fantasies, watching too many movies. I'm incorporated, watch what it's gonna be. La galleta conmigo, lo saben todito. Vámonos, no fuimos. Watch when I drop that new dingo. When I hit him with the floor, it's Vico. See, back in the days, that was me. Rhyming over these beats. Before that, all I used to do was listen to them shits on the streets. LL Cool J mixtape. Got the bootleg for me. All I could receive was that cassette that I could play if I had 3 triple D batteries to pump in my little VC. I was listening probably 4, but with 3 that were brand new and 1 that was given to me. I'm out here walking through the streets, some of them type shit in my dreams. I'm seeing this reality, alternate reality of NYC. Walking through the streets, walking through the heat. I see all the movements, all I see is keys. Everybody getting green. The smoke is real good. You should come to my fucking streets. Outside, la estamos flipeando. This is before the nutcrackers you see now. Since I was young, I had the crown. You know that I had to hold it down. I went to the bodega when the cupones came out. Back in the days, it was kind of built like, so I used to be outside like I was built for that life. Didn't understand that I could one day cry over a mic device and let them all know how a nigga still nice. Gave my life to Christ. Niggas don't understand. 225. Camina por mi calle, este es mi bloque. Camina por mi calle, este es mi bloque. Yo estoy afuera vendiendo circuito. Tú eres un chamaquito demasiado. These cats too young in the game. They worship heroin and that type of exchange. Don't understand. One day they can meet the rain. It's hard to escape. I have mad millions to make. I had a float, no just players. I'm out here hustling in the streets. On the low, they signing other MCs. It's all good, my nigga, cause I got the streets. So my nigga knocked out, rest in peace. I got the whole family, I'ma take care of the team. Leave just taking over. Vamos a tocar. Yo solamente le voy a dar con una de mis líricas. Vamos a caminar, lo que yo te voy a enseñar. Estos tigres quieren hablar, no saben fumar. A relajar, a diferenciar de mi talento. Yo le digo mi verdad. Me puede criticar, lo mejor yo le va a desear. ¿Sabes? En la calle, casi todo el fucking día, porque en mi casa a veces no había. A veces se me pegaba un pedacito de pizza. Si me regalaba la tenía hecha, la tipa estaba hecha. Ella tenía otra pizza, los papeles estaban arreglados, fue una que le dieran la prisa. Ella le pegaba. Venía para atrás y esa vaina me la regalaba. Ya tú sabes la cosa de la vida. una criatura nueva que quería un pedazo de esta vida por la manera como él vivía. Tú analiza lo que él hacía todos los días. Él se buscaba el pan de cada día. Quizá él no tenía para comprar el carro legal, pero él lo conseguía. Los tigres fueron su guía, le enseñaron el juego, lo que él entendía. La calle para mí esa fue mi Biblia y a veces hasta mi enciclopedia en inglés antes del internet. Mira toda la vaina que yo sobrepasé en la calle, my friend. No hay demasiado que pueden llegar como yo aquí llegué. Con mi talento, mi música, perdóname por favor. A veces yo tengo que... Ya tú sabes la cosa de la vida. Una criatura nueva que quería un pedazo de esta vida por la manera como él vivía. Tú analiza lo que él hacía todos los días. Él se buscaba el pan de cada día. Quizá él no tenía para comprar el carro legal, pero él lo conseguía. Los tigres fueron su guía, le enseñaron el juego, lo que él entendía. La calle para mí esa fue mi Biblia y a veces hasta mi enciclopedia en inglés antes del internet. Mira toda la vaina que yo sobrepasé en la calle, my friend. No hay demasiado que pueden llegar como yo aquí llegué. Con mi talento, mi música, perdóname por favor. A veces yo tengo que gaguear porque me duele cuando yo tengo que reflexionar y pensar para atrás. Mira la vida de mi vida, mira cómo yo sufría, llorando, llora alma mía. Yo sé que mi talento te guía, no pueden conmigo, esa es la razón por que tienen envidia. Porque tú tenías tanta envidia, tú no querías que yo llegara con la música mía. Tú querías que yo estuviera viviendo en una fría hasta que llegara la policía y me sacaba, que me tenían afuera de mi familia. Yo perdía mi libertad, pero tenía a mi Virgen María. Camina conmigo, ella entendía. Todos los días ella me veía en esa misma esquina. Me encantaba mi lírica. Entonces de vez en cuando yo tenía que regalar un par de canciones y compartir un par de mis lecciones. Tú sabes que en la calle solamente hay candela y yo era uno de los fogones. Vamos, los tigres son bones, no pueden conmigo, pregúntale a Jones. Y no están buscando, por eso que ellos están criticando. Al paso, ya yo estoy progresando, poco a poco esta calle ya yo la estoy dejando. Estoy trabajando, estoy estudiando y los fines de semana estoy joseando, pero estoy grabando y me estoy buscando y a esta iglesia yo le estoy regalando casi todo mi cuarto porque ya la calle no me estaba importando. Yo estaba grabando, estaba progresando de una manera positiva. La calle ya yo la estaba dejando, con las falsedades la estaba analizando. Todo el mundo me estaba clavando el cuchillo por atrás y yo lo estaba dejando. Porque yo estaba viendo la forma como a mí me estaban traicionando. Yo estaba pensando, yo le estaba dando bendiciones, ojalá que le lleguen. Yo sé que el diablo te mandó a pararme a mí, pero no pudieron, aunque mucho quisieron. Tú sabes que la calle a mí sí me hicieron. Desde el primer momento yo le cambié mi flow. Como yo perfecto, solamente como improviso de mi corazón. Ellos están dentro, mi lírica lo quieren. Es que mi lírica tú sabes que son de fuego, muy caliente. Para mi gente, aquí estoy en vivo y yo soy el presidente. Deja que yo llegue a la República Dominicana, representar a mi gente del barrio, de los campos, todos los que están caminando descalzo. No me venga hablando mierda de carro y de prenda, loco, líricamente. Lo estoy matando, lo estoy asesinando solamente porque el maestro está enseñando. Eso no es una vida que tú estás pensando. V10 in the Porsche Carrera GT. 2004, my shit looked like a 2003. I apologize to all you favorite MCs. No longer can these niggas eat. Cause I'm about to rock a vibe, baby, put him to sleep. None of them niggas can ever be nicer to me. You know my story is real. You know that these flaws you kill. Yeah, every single one is a feel. These niggas really better chill. Got little worth a few mil. While these MCs can't pay their bills. 360 bills for real. Y'all niggas sniffing coke in the pill. For that ransom bill. I know the truth from my flows is real. So you can say it, you wanna say it, how you gonna say it. The game has changed, and it's changed. Technology, the pain, the dawn, from NYC. The Bronx are one, the MC, John Money, on the flow like New Orleans. Cajun spices, yo soy el gambito. Flowing with the flows like a gambino. Estos tigres no quieren problema, arroz con los pipos. Todito tranquilo, cojanlo suave, capotillo es mío. Tranquilito, Lolo minero, caminando conmigo. Sancho Sama, Ferrari amarillo, Porsche amarillo. Y tengo par de Lamborghinis, te lo digo, llamadito. Bueno, suave, vaya conmigo, yo me estoy buscando, con mi chelito, no está conmigo, tocando en vivo, únicamente, por el presidente, a mi gente, entiende, cógelo suave, fuego, pa' tu mente, líricamente, cuidado, no te quemes, hace mucho tiempo, muchos años, yo soy la razón por que están rapeando, ellos no saben que yo estoy negociando. La razón porque ellos están filmando. Esos son toditos parte de mi viejo contrato. Mira lo que yo hago. Yo soy de verdad, estos tigres teatro. A los callados están violando, son tecatos. Deja que yo lo agarro al paso. Ellos estaban filmando y yo lo estaba relajando. Escribiéndole el autógrafo, se lo estaba dando. Esta es la versión que yo le voy a regalar a mi papá. Esta es la versión que yo le voy a regalar a mi papá. Esta es la versión que yo le voy a regalar a mi papá. Esta es la versión que yo le voy a regalar a mi papá. Que cilindro, Porsche, convertible. Tú sabes que este es el Carrera GT 2004. Entiende, chamaquín, cógelo suave, fúmate un tabaquín. Este es de cambio, aquí hay que escuchar si tú quieres manejar at my speed. Demasiado suave, I be burning my haze, cruising with my pops to the beach, taking over the streets. Niggas is mad cause they can never see me up in NYC, cruising through the streets in the old floor with Carrera GT V10. Keep up with me. If you nice driving, you can drive with me in your V. It don't matter if you got a JDM on the CRV. Mama know you can ride with me. Please attach a pair of those official BBS rims. Get you some nice tires and adjust the suspension a bit. You can put a little turbo on it. If not, leave the factory. You can chill. No drama am I gonna bring. I'm just gonna show you how to do your thing. Lyrically, all I need is a few beats. I already have the heart of NYC, the dirty side from the ports of New Orleans. You know about the Mardi Gras. Tú sabes lo que va a pasar cuando yo llegue a cruzar with my squad, el puente mío. Estos tigres que están hablando, la vida que yo vivo, tranquilo. Estoy en California, como que estoy jangueando con los chamaquitos de Capotillo, los mineros que caminan conmigo. El ensayo cementerio, sabes que yo toco en vivo, donde yo quiero, el merodero, número 1 en el mundo entero. Tú puedes ser lo que tú quieras, pero en esta vaina yo soy papá Dios. Ponte a pensar, analizar el presidente que ganó. Ellos quieren mi flow en cada canción, featuring yo. My flow en inglés, en español, dime si te gustó. My flow en inglés, en español, dime si te gustó. My flow en inglés, en español, dime si te gustó. My flow en inglés, en español, dime si te gustó. Te gustó the flow, just a little bit for all of y'all. Gotta let them know who's the king on the throne. It ain't Hove. Shout out to my niggas up in title. I flow scriptures from your favorite Bible. 10 to 15,000 versions. I flow cause I got the turn. I'm herbing them, you know I'm determined. I'm focused to win. From beginning to the end, I'm from the land. Where that at, boy? 188, apartment D, holla at me. It's all about me and my team, getting nothing but the cream. Smoking cubanos with my family. Smoking cubanos with my family. Que tú sabes what you know about dreams. Tú hablando what you know about me. Que tú sabes what you know about dreams. Que tú hablas what you know about me. Quieren criticar mi lirical por encima de esta instrumental. Eso como un puente que se va a discapacitar. Que puede caer, papá, cuando yo le hable mi fucking verdad. Deja que el pasaporte va a llegar. Vamos a ver en vivo quién va a tocar. Vamos a ver la verdad. Vamos a separar los dueños de esta vaina. Mi apellido es Peña. ¿Quién quiere problemas? Yo tengo leña. Tengo fuego, el que te enseña. Líricamente, el que preña. Esta industria es mi jeva. Y tú no quieres que yo se lo meta. Par de álbum yo le voy a sacar. Todos los fucking días van a dejar de rapear. Ustedes no quieren hacer nada. Asqueroso todito. They will get the flow, just a little bit for all of y'all. Gotta let them know who's the king on the throne. It ain't Hove. Shout out to my niggas up in title. I flow scriptures from your favorite Bible. 10 to 15,000 versions. I flow cause I got the turn. I'm herbing them, you know I'm determined. I'm focused to win. From beginning to the end, I'm from the land. Where that at, boy? 188, apartment D, holla at me. It's all about me and my team, getting nothing but the cream. Smoking cubanos with my family. Smoking cubanos with my family. Que tú sabes what you know about dreams. Tú hablando what you know about me. Que tú sabes what you know about dreams. Que tú hablas what you know about me. Quieren criticar mi lirical por encima de esta instrumental. Eso como un puente que se va a discapacitar. Que puede caer, papá, cuando yo le hable mi fucking verdad. Deja que el pasaporte va a llegar. Vamos a ver en vivo quién va a tocar. Vamos a ver la verdad. Vamos a separar los dueños de esta vaina. Mi apellido es Peña. ¿Quién quiere problemas? Yo tengo leña. Tengo fuego, el que te enseña. Líricamente, el que preña. Esta industria es mi jeva. Y tú no quieres que yo se lo meta. Par de álbum yo le voy a sacar todos los fucking días. día van a dejar de rapear. Ustedes no quieren hacer nada, asqueroso todita. Esta maldita mujerita que dije que son raperos con joyería de mentira, hablándole mierda a la gente mía. Todos esos carros son rentados y toda esa ropa a ti te la han regalado. Mama Clarence said it looks like reptile. Y tú sabes esta máquina. Un tigre. Y tú sabes esta máquina. Un tigre humilde. Y tú sabes esta máquina. Yo soy un tigre humilde. Y tú sabes esta máquina. Un tigre humilde. Ellos saben la verdad. Cuando yo venga a penetrar, se tiene que relajar. Yo soy la versión hispana de chupa, chuco. Te gusta mi flow, en inglés, en español, no, pero no mi flow. No te guíes porque Dios me bendició. Gracias a Dios mío, yo le doy mi poder a mi gente de mi corazón. Perdóname si yo me agrego o se me dañan par de canciones, pero yo tengo mucho más. Unos días yo te voy a grabar, unos días yo te voy a sacar esa vaina que está caliente, mamá. Ella va a tener que bailar cada vez que ella se ponga a escuchar. Mi música yo la quiero de verdad. Tú la tenías por par de semana, pero yo de lo que tú te pones a pensar, cada vez que tú le vayas a levantar la mano a tu hembra, tiene que ser tu reina. Pero cada vez que yo me hablo, ella me va a ver. Fíjate a ti la verdad, no te pongas a llorar. Ella vino empacando su vaina y la maleta, la violeta privada para pegar. Tú la tratabas mal, yo me la voy a llevar. Ella sabe la verdad. Esto es amor de mi corazón, de mi alma. Nunca le voy a hablar mal, no le voy a decir mala palabra, la voy a abrazar. En tu cara la voy a besar, la nalga se la voy a agarrar. No sé, esta noche se la voy a mamar. Y la voy a grabar, te la voy a mandar. Oye, pero aquí tienen uno de esos lugares que tú sabes, no me gusta la vaina. Ven que yo te cambio por ahí, tengo un jet de vaina. Get up the floor the way I go, I just let them know I'm the best, #1 across the globe. You could buy the chart, the billboard, and the numbers on YouTube, I already know. But when it comes to these flows, I'ma let you know about the streets of New York. Oye, pero aquí tienen uno de esos lugares que tú sabes, no me gusta la vaina. Ven que yo te cambio por ahí, tengo un jet de vaina. They love the flow the way I go, I just let them know I'm the best, #1 across the globe. You could buy the chart, the billboard, and the numbers on YouTube, I already know. But when it comes to these flows, I'ma let you know about the streets of New York. Cause I be your heart, that means I be your heart. Y'all gon' have to start rhyming harder, more bars, better concepts, better hooks, better bridges. You already know that I be the dog. It's time to get it on. I destroy with a bar. Ain't gotta write a song. My bad, talent that I had since I lost my dad. But the streets is all that I have. Ask my nigga back. The shit is gonna get back. For all these cats in the game, all these cats that's lame. What happened to the beach money? They gave them away to other MCs. Didn't want me to flow the way that I could blaze the streets for days. Off my dome, they said your rap style has to change. You can't do what you do, it's never gonna work for you. It didn't work for me. I used to tell them true, you're right. You know what I'ma do? I'ma work a few jobs. I'ma do that commercial shit. You know I'ma do construction, plumbing and carpeting. You know I'm focused to win. What you want me to do? Work in an office job in front of a computer, a phone, say customer service. You want me to put live on the stage, get paid 200,000 every time I spray lyrically. These words that I just displayed on some Picasso shit, Basquiat shit, Rembrandt type shit, Mozart type of gift. Nah, what you want me to do? Work a regular job and shit. Well, fuck it, at least I'ma go legit. Can I really smoke my blunt? All I got is $5 for a nick. Well, that's my nigga Nick. How I used to be, dick on my strip. When my man eats, bless me with a few of the bricks. Niggas used to talk shit, but we always pulled up in nice whips. And everybody that was running the lives, they all upset because now we raising our kids. And without the music game, I'm still rich, filthy. You heard me? You should build with me. The game is milky, baby. Yo, the speed tail's only 3.2 before taxes. I don't know how much they want, but it's hybrid. It'll save me a little bit on these gases. You know, I live in California. I'll be smoking my haze with a little bit of molasses. That culture honey. You know what I do? Anybody's in the street, cats want me. They say they looking for me, but I be selling these niggas like Dunny. Nigga, you better chew on your gummy. You don't understand, you wish you was me. I took the cars that I was dealt. I had to buy a McLaren with V12s. 96, I was young as a kid. I spent all of my chips, not my shit. So for 26, I had a lot of money to invest. I was just a little kid. Never knew niggas get hate like they working for me hard as this every single day. I guess they write my rhymes and they make my beats on a day like today. I cannot wait. I need a few number one hits, but I couldn't understand that the industry was always buying them things. I don't care about going platinum. I just want about 1 million acres of land so I can invest, build it from the ground up. Do you understand? Bitcoin, Ethereum. I really like to invest in them. You know these cryptocurrencies, I'm just investing in them. So I really understand how a plan given to a young man can extend so many years. How is it that he consistently win? Everybody hating on him. That was a phase I had to learn from. I had to burn from, like I was burning CDs. I had to give them away. Like back in the days, I had to walk in the rain, sometimes in the heat wave. This is my mixtape. Niggas say it sounds like an album. That shit is how I heard it yesterday. You got some new shit? Yeah, I got some new shit. You got some more music? Yeah, I got that shit. Where can you perform? Where you want me to perform? 200,000 out there, like how much you charging for each bar? $1.6 million so far. Cuando cocina, me sacan ahí con coque un poquito de la grasa del caldo, por favor. Gracias. Yeah. Best flow since the day I was born. I would put it on. Murderers remain my squad. 225 for life. Hey, yeah, baby. Right hand drive. Real white Aston Martin. I pulled it out tonight just to let them know. But the niggas still drive, but niggas still nice. It was kinda tight when I pulled out that Rolls Royce. I had to drop the top. I had to smoke a few cigars on my block and show love to all my thugs. No longer any of us selling drugs. It's a celebration. This is what you face it. Me facing the entire nation. But I gotta go, gotta tour international. I just came to show love to my heart with every one of my bars. I hope y'all understand every one of my songs. Every day I'm releasing multiple albums. You know I'm the king of New York. I'm also the king of the West Coast, the king of the dirty South, the king of the Midwest flow. And up north, they already know. Any day, when you're in the middle, Mama know I'm in Europe. Did you know I'm about to perform in London? I could come across a little bit flamboyant. You know about my school. I'm in Asia. Just for the haters in Canada. They just the way us. I'm in Central America, the Caribbean. Why y'all niggas saying on me? El dinero está bueno y estos millones, mira como yo los veo. Pacientemente yo espero la bendición que me dio Dios. Yo estoy agradecido por esta oportunidad de hablar con mi gente de verdad internacional. Saben que yo voy a llegar. Ellos no quieren rapear, no quieren cantar, no quieren vivir, no quieren improvisar. Quieren fantasear, lo conocen más por la farándula. ¿Dónde está la música? Un duro de bulto. Estos chamaquitos tienen que estar cantando con canten el menudo. Yo soy demasiado duro, por eso les saqué un CD del puro, pa' que fumen conmigo y se hagan hombre de verdad. Cuando tú haces tu arte, tienes que incluir tu alma. Cada vez que tú vienes a rapear, como tú quieres esa música, soy yo que te la voy a dar con mi empresa, mi disquera. El número artista soy yo, a lo que tú quieras. Di lo que tú quieras decir. Mientras conmigo, pero no al frente de mí. Yo les voy a enseñar arte de verdad. Dios me va a proteger, papá. No me va a pasar nada. Te voy a decir la verdad. Los ojos lo van a primar cada vez que mi música la vayan a escuchar. Yo soy the new version of Bach y yo estoy aquí porque tengo que representar a mi gente, decirle la verdad. Todo lo que nunca brilla, todo lo que brilla no es la verdad. No te dejes llevar por tarjeta de crédito y vaina material que ellos quieren comprar. Es porque tienen inseguridad en su alma y saben que adentro ellos no valen nada. Escucha su música. You know what, McLaren Speedtail kind of looks like an aircraft from the front. Aerodynamic shit. Aerodynamic shit. Aerodynamic shit. Aerodynamic shit. God is with me. Dios está conmigo. El más duro de los tiempos destruido. Camina conmigo. El casito. Los tigres del campo. Bailan conmigo, todito, no fuimos, no necesito cadenas de yo, dame un coquito, un martillo, yo soy carpintero, que tú quieres, tú estás viendo lo que yo hago, imagínate lo que él hizo. Yo construyo castillos, liricalmente traigo a la gente conmigo. No te va a caer la lluvia y el calor latino no te va a quemar. Ponte a escuchar toda mi música, ponte a analizar, ponte a aprender, papá. Yo te voy a confiar, libertad. El capítulo de mi vida te lo voy a regalar. El maestro viene a enseñar. Líricamente yo te voy a cantar, yo te voy a menear, pero te voy a educar, para que tú sepas la vida de verdad. Esta es mi vida real. Que tú ves en la televisión con estos tigres no se le para si no se meten en una patilla. Preguntarle a esa hermana, la que me llama, ella te dejaba. En la discoteca tú te dabas, par de trago, ella me daba un tro de risa, porque ella tenía una MP4 de la música mía. Aquí estamos en vivo. Y esa tipa está conmigo en viva, parece una viva. Deja que tú la veas una tanguita. Eso es vida de verdad. Agua de coco para tu caña mineral. Yo sé que te va a gustar un poquito de ron y café. Yo lo voy a mezclar. Estos tigres no saben nada. solamente se ponen a hablar. Mi estilo lo quieren copiar, pero todos los días yo se lo voy a cambiar. Y quieren que yo le dé más de la música que ya yo le iba a regalar. Solamente quieren copiar el caparazón, pero esto es máquina. De verdad, el motor es oficial. Pasando los cambios en el timonal. En tu vaso te le voy a dar. De tercera a cuarta voy a pasar. La policía no me puede parar. Porque yo tengo aseguranza. Y este carro está legal. Tú sabes que yo siempre lo voy a manejar. Con mi cinturón. Yo soy el mejor en el mundo, número uno. McLaren album, Dominican Republic. Dominican Republic, la República. Manejando un McLaren, esa se llama Elba. Ella estaba afuera, fumando su hierba. Ella me decía, de verdad que ella me quería. Yo la veía casi todos los días. Yo le escribía, yo le cantaba. Cuando yo la veía, yo le decía, la verdad cuando la quería. Ella era la jevita mía, pero ella conseguía su visa. Ella comenzó a viajar. Yo me puse a escribirle cartas de amor, porque esa era mi verdad. Mi amor, yo te quiero demasiado, y tú sabes la verdad. Tú sabes que yo no te puedo dar nada de mensaje material. Yo no soy un sanky panky, yo te quiero de verdad. Si tú quieres, deja esa mierda de los Estados Unidos. Ven para acá, tú y yo podemos progresar. Yo me voy a comprar una pasola, la voy a calibrar. Yo te voy a buscar en las Américas, en el aeropuerto, mamá, porque yo te quiero de verdad. Tú sabes que tú eras siempre mi Eva. Tú sabes que tú eras mi Eva. Mi amor, yo te quiero de verdad. Es contigo que yo me quiero casar. Tú quieres bailar, yo te voy a enseñar. Se llama bachata. Ella no me habla bien español ya, porque ella hablaba inglés de verdad. Yo le decía la vaina que yo aprendía en la escuelita. Me regalaron un libro y yo le decía la palabrita que yo me aprendía casi todos los días porque yo la quería. Yo trabajaba noche y día pensando en mi jevita que un día ella vendría. Y yo estoy aquí con mi fría, era la jevita mía, en una jipetica de la nuevecita, pero voy a rentar, alquilar. Mami, dime la verdad, si tú me vas a dejar manejar. Yo quisiera que tú vinieras de verdad, pero solamente para quedarte. Porque yo te quiero de verdad y el amor yo quiero darte, que tú te mereces. Olvídate de esa vaina, ellos están hablando de los dólares, pero esa vaina aquí no brilla. Yo te compré un lugar, un Macalver, vamos a beber. Yo te voy a enseñar de verdad cuando yo te quiero. La gente quiere criticar, no quieren que yo te espere, pero yo te quiero de verdad. La vecina dijo, ven si te quiere. Todos los días él compra Mercedes, él lo lava, viene para acá, se buscaba par de chelitos para comprarte, par de limoncillos, esperando, esperándote a ti, pensando que un día tú vengas, está llegando, pero tú sabes que tú estás viajando, porque eres el tigre que te está enamorando. Tú le estás sacando los papeles del tigre, por eso que él está rezando. McLaren album, Dominican Republic. Dominican Republic, la República. Manejando un McLaren, esa se llama Elba. Ella estaba afuera fumando su hierba. Ella me decía, de verdad que ella me quería. Yo la veía casi todos los días. Yo le escribía, yo le cantaba. Cuando yo la veía, yo le decía, la verdad cuando la quería. Ella era la jevita mía, pero ella conseguía su visa. Ella comenzó comenzó a viajar, yo me puse a escribirle cartas de amor, porque esa era mi verdad. Mi amor, yo te quiero demasiado, y tú sabes la verdad. Tú sabes que yo no te puedo dar nada de cementaje material. Yo no soy un sanky panky, yo te quiero de verdad. Si tú quieres dejar esa mierda de los Estados Unidos, ven para acá, tú y yo podemos progresar. Yo me voy a comprar McLaren Alpha, Dominican Republic. Dominican Republic, la República. Manejando un McLaren, esa se llama Elba. Ella estaba afuera fumando su hierba. Ella me decía, de verdad que ella me quería. Yo la veía casi todos los días. Yo le escribía, yo le cantaba. Cuando yo la veía, yo le decía la verdad cuando la quería. Ella era la jevita mía, pero ella conseguía su visa. Ella comenzó a viajar, yo me puse a escribirle cartas de amor, porque esa era mi verdad. Mi amor, yo te quiero demasiado, y tú sabes la verdad. Tú sabes que yo no te puedo dar nada de cementaje material. Yo no soy un sanky panky, yo te quiero de verdad. Si tú quieres dejar esa mierda de los Estados Unidos, ven para acá, tú y yo podemos progresar. Yo me voy a comprar una pasola, la voy a calibrar. Yo te voy a buscar en las Américas, en el aeropuerto, mamá, porque yo te quiero de verdad. Tú sabes que tú eras siempre mi Eva. Tú sabes que tú eras mi Eva. Mi amor, yo te quiero de verdad. Es contigo que yo me quiero casar. Tú quieres bailar, yo te voy a enseñar. Se llama bachata. Ella no me habla bien español ya, porque ella hablaba inglés de verdad. Yo le decía la vaina que yo aprendía en la escuelita. Me regalaron un libro y yo le decía la palabrita que yo me aprendía casi todos los días porque yo la quería. Yo trabajaba noche y día pensando en mi jevita que un día ella vendría. Y yo estoy aquí con mi fría, era la jevita mía, en una chipetica de la nuevecita, pero es verdad, alquilar. Mami, dime la verdad, si tú me vas a dejar manejar. Yo quisiera que tú vinieras de verdad, pero solamente para quererte. Porque yo te quiero de verdad y el amor yo quiero darte, que tú te mereces. Olvídate de esa vaina, ellos están hablando de los dólares, pero esa vaina aquí no brilla. Yo te compré un lugar, un Calver, vamos a beber. Yo te voy a enseñar de verdad cuánto yo te quiero. La gente quiere criticar, no quieren que yo te espere, pero yo te quiero de verdad. La vecina dijo, ven si te quiere. Todos los días él compra mensajes, él lo lava, viene para acá, se buscaba par de chelitos para comprarte, par de limoncillos, esperándote a ti, pensando que un día tú vengas a estar llegando, pero tú sabes que tú estás viajando, porque eres el tigre que te está enamorando. Tú le estás sacando los papeles del tigre, por eso es que él está rezando. They love my flow, I love my dough. They love my flow, I love my dough. Big Pun, Big L, Tupac Shakur, Biggie Smalls, inspired these flows. My nigga Jigga, my nigga Nas, my nigga DMX, Jada Kiss, the God. Ellos no pueden conmigo. They love my flow, I love my dough. They love my flow, I love my dough. Big Pun, Big L, Tupac Shakur, Biggie Smalls, inspired these flows. My nigga Jigga, my nigga Nas, my nigga DMX, Jada Kiss, the God. They love my flow, I love my dough. They love my flow, I love my dough. Big Pun, Big L, Tupac Shakur, Biggie Smalls, inspired these flows. My nigga Jigga, my nigga nigga Nas, my nigga DMX, get kids in the guard. They love my flow, I love my dough. They love my flow, I love my dough. Big Pun, Big L, Tupac Shakur, Biggie Smalls, inspired these flows. They love my flow, I love my dough. They love my flow, I love my dough. Big Pun, Big L, Tupac Shakur, Biggie Smalls, inspired these flows. My nigga Jigga, my nigga Nas, my nigga DMX, get kids in the guard. And you know what they conmigo. I learned all of Eagle Steve's bars. LL shit back in the days. I used to burn cassette, I couldn't afford to burn a disc, a mixtape and shit. Me and Buck would walk the whole strip. Yo, loco, yo tengo un par de canciones. Vamos a sacarla. The heart of an entrepreneur. All murderers remain my sword. Inspired by the they love my flow, I love my dough. They love my flow, I love my dough. Big Pun, Big L, Tupac Shakur, Biggie Smalls, inspired these flows. My nigga Jigga, my nigga Nas, my nigga DMX, get kids in the guard. And you know what they conmigo. I learned all of Eagle Steve's bars. LL shit back in the days. I used to burn cassette, I couldn't afford to burn a disc, a mixtape and shit. Me and Buck would walk the whole strip. Yo, loco, yo tengo un par de canciones. Vamos a sacarla. The heart of an entrepreneur. All murderers remain my sword. Inspired by the likes of Master P. Motherfuck this whole industry. Independently, I'm gonna release. I was waiting on this technology and NFTs. What you really know about me, baby? I'm not your average MC. I don't listen to these niggas, all I need is the beats whenever they release in the streets. Got my version of all of their releases. We gon' see the greatest MC. Operating outside of this fake ass plastic bullshit in the street. These niggas idolize what they idolize. They show it to you on TV. That's not what life is about. I chose a different route. You already know the flows is out every single day. What you know about a nigga like me? Call me KJ, el jefe soy yo. Any day en español, I'm a blessing with my flow. Al paso suave, fácilmente. In Dominican Republic, yo soy el presidente. Los cubanos saben que yo siempre soy mi gente. Yo estoy en Puerto Rico tocando en vivo. Aquí es que yo he nacido. En mi hoguera yo estaba desarrollando mi vida entera. Don't feel bad, I got the Elva. This flow for the elders. Don't feel bad, I got the Elva. This flow for the elders. Don't feel bad, I got the Elva. This flow for the elder. Donna Perov and Wachi. 5 Pervos faithfully. Everybody walk with me. They already know what it's gonna be. Watch on the NFT is released. Don't feel bad, I got the Elva. This flow for the elders. Don't feel bad, I got the Elva. This flow for the elders. Don't feel bad, I got the Elva. This flow for the elder. Donna Perov and Wachi. 5 Pervos faithfully. Everybody walk with me. They already know what it's gonna be. Watch on the NFT is released. My bad, the additive release. I got about $5.5 billion. Holla at me, digitally. I'm from the future. I just came back to bless y'all with a few bars of my speech. A few songs, a few LPs, a few EPs. Until I penetrate the belly of this industry. And I take this beast and I decapitate it. You gon' hate it the way I'ma make it. I'ma love the way that you say it, the shit that you say it. Why you still complaining? Not living in the rain and I'm driving in the rain and in that corner cell, you maintain it. I'm letting you know, forever RS on the West Coast. They already know I'm the best. Anything up on your right to check. How many flows I got to collect? If these little MCs is getting $30 million of shit, oh shit. I got about 4, 5, 6 million different flows. And for every single one, I want 44 million. So I can bless y'all with 52 bars. 400 stars. Generally know about my squad. Que tú sabes de la calle. De los 5 pedazos de Nueva York son mis brazos. Ustedes son teatro, todito te cato. Luego yo te llamo cuando te agato. No estoy bajando, no estamos buscando. Estoy calibrando en esta pista. Tú me estás escuchando, baila la música mía. Critica, bebe la saliva. Come and follow my elbow. Entera. Come and follow my elbow. Entera. Come and follow my elbow. Entera. Come and follow my elbow. No tiene pintura la máquina mía. El mundo va en la vida, porque mi vida es de verdad. Demasiado años yo tuve que llorar, tuve que grabar, tuve que improvisar, me tuve que mantener en positividad. Yo sabía que un día yo iba a llegar, Dios me iba a dar la bendición de verdad, que el mundo eternal me vaya a escuchar. Yo voy a grabar en el blockchain, papá. Estoy copiando mi versión digital para el día que yo pueda regresar al reino de Dios. Al mundo entero le dejo mi flow, en inglés, en español, espero que te guste. Si te gustó, ayúdame un poquito con la promoción. Háblale a tu gente del nuevo presidente. Detente, tú sabes que yo te quemé líricamente. Yo te enseñé el manual de Tacolete. Yo soy el prototipo, estos tigres no pueden conmigo. El mejor flow Dios me ha bendecido. Gracias a Jesucristo, todavía estoy vivo. Tú vas a ver en 2025 quién es el mejor en el mundo enterito. Tocándole en vivo, la música que yo vivo. Camina conmigo, siente toda la vaina que yo he sentido. Tú sabes que los seres están conmigo. Yo perdí a mi mejor amigo, pero por mí está vivo. Cada vez que yo le hablo a ustedes, yo le dejo saber quién eres. No pueden conmigo con mi flow, yo le enseño un espejo de verdad, de mi alma, de mi corazón, con cada canción que yo les regalo digitalmente. Tú la estás escuchando, en la NFT ya lo están comprando. Yo estoy improvisando. Ellos no saben que yo soy un empresario. Ellos me veían joseando, no estaban pensando lo que yo estaba maquinando. Esperando, todos los días estaba contando, cada segundo estaba bajando, yo lo estaba rebasando, pensando, estoy llegando. ¿Tú quieres manejar esa vaina? Esta vaina de fibra de carbón entero, no tiene pintura. En par de años se va para acá, pero yo lo mando a pintar, eso no es nada. Ellos saben que yo voy a llegar. Ellos toman la decisión de odiar, quieren criticar, se ponen a hablar de mi música, pero lo mejor yo le voy a decir. Pregúntale a mi tío, el tío, Uno de los mejores barberos de aquí, te lo digo. Él me aconsejaba, yo me recuerdo. Toda la vaina que él a mí me ha dicho. Cógelo suave, un día saca tu disco. Ponte a trabajar, mantén a tu familia y a toditos tus hijos. No le pongas atención a la fama o la farándula. Mantén tu misión. Dale tu vida entera a Dios y tú vas a encontrar la paz que Él te dio. Tú eres un chamaco de los tiempos clásicos. Mira cómo Él joció. Dios lo perdonó, le dio otra oportunidad. Él lo pensó, su vida entera Él la reflexionó. Mira como yo perdí a mis hijas. El sufrimiento de mi corazón, de mi alma, se destruyó mi matrimonio y yo tuve que seguir para adelante tirando como los boxeadores, tirando par de gancho. Quítate los guantes, habla con gacho. A tu música lo que yo saco. Mantén tu vida positividad. Cada vez que yo grabo, yo estoy pensando en los consejos que me estaban regalando y yo trabajando, pasando hambre todos los días, pero estaba rezando. La agua no me estaba mojando, yo estaba afuera, pero estaba analizando, estaba pensando. Ya me estaba dando cuenta que mi sueño se estaba realizando. Cada vez que yo canto, hablo con mi gente porque la amo. Todo el mundo que me está apoyando, ustedes están odiando, ellos están rezando, por eso estoy llegando. Y es que el bueno siempre está ganando. Y tú estás observando que ya yo estoy llegando. Tú no ves que yo me estoy echando prenda de diamante de esa vaina que a veces yo sí hablo en par de canciones, porque tú sabes, estamos grabando. Esto es entretenimiento, tú estás captando los diamantes que te estoy dejando. You wanna join the winning team? I'm all about my NFTs. But more advice to me. You sabe, yo soy. Tú sabes, yo soy. Ya tú lo sabes. Yo soy, ya tú lo sabes, yo soy. I'm already here, it's my year, so clear, do you understand? I'm a be taking off in that lid, check. With the bars I spit, en inglés, en español, the flow sick. Niggas talking shit about bricks, I'm not on the strip, my nigga. $4 or $5 million whips. Big full cash and shit, Bitcoin shit, Ethereum. Me voy a comprar una avioneta que va a aterrizar, que va a despegar internacional, donde yo vaya a tocar en vivo, papá. El mejor está aquí de verdad. Yo vengo a controlar, yo vengo a separar la realidad de la fantasía de estos artistas que se meten perico y patilla. Yo fumándome mi hierbita, dándome par de trago con mi hierbita. Todos los días él te está diciendo, en Tampilla, en mi visa, estamos despegando, cógelo suave, estoy en el Oiza, con Lisa, en el Evora o en el Villa, el Elba, yo sé que te quilla, le compro una villa a la familia mía, a mi mamacita, te gusta la música mía. Mira por la mierda que estos tigres filman, quieren fama, quieren farándula, quieren que tú lo veas en la televisión, pero en realidad no tienen nada, porque tienen que recuperar todos esos chelitos, cada lata, cada botella que yo vengo a entregar cuando yo venga a vender mi vaina. Aquí me tienen que pagar y todas esas joyerías en el Metaldón se van a quedar. Yo y mi mujer manejando una máquina del año. Yo y mi mujer manejando una máquina del año. Yo y mi mujer manejando una máquina del año. yo y mi mujer manejando. Dos máquinas del año, cuando te está costando, yo la estoy enviando internacionalmente. Yo estoy improvisando, estoy cantando en el mundo entero. Yo estoy manejando. Mira lo que yo hago, este es mi trabajo. La vaina que yo hago, todos los días la saco. Ustedes están hablando, roncando y yo estoy despegando. Todos los días lo estoy enseñando. Como a mis hijos lo estoy bañando. Todos los días ellos están observando que ustedes solamente están hablando. Todos los días yo estoy improvisando. Mira cómo yo grabo lo que yo hago. Música nueva te está gustando. Ahora es que yo estoy empezando. Me doy par de tragos. Me fumo par de tabaco. Todos los días grabando. Y tú estás odiando. ¿Qué es lo que te está pasando? Lo que pasa es que tú no estás analizando. Cada canción que yo estoy grabando, soy yo con yo. Pa' ustedes dos, para el mundo entero, que escuche mi flow. En inglés, en español, loco, vámonos. Vamos a llegar. Esta es la vida de verdad que Dios me tenía. Pa' que yo viera la realidad. Porque la traición no me puse a pensar cómo iba a pasar. Y en esos tiempos la bendición Dios no me la podía dar. Cerca de mí había demasiado mal, demasiada gente que me iban a traicionar. Pero de otra forma, yo te voy a improvisar. Con la calle yo tengo que hablar. Yo te voy a enseñar lo que te puede pasar. Tú puedes llegar a ser más grande de la eternidad, pero un día pues esa vaina se va a acabar. Lo que sube tiene que bajar. ¿Y qué tú vas a hacer? ¿Cuál es tu plan? De la calle nadie se puede retirar. Muerte o una celda. Y yo tengo la habilidad de hacer mi música y poder cambiar el futuro de la nueva generación, mamá. I wish you the best. I hope you progress with your life. I hope you achieve all of your dreams, whatever you want it to be. You just gotta believe that God's gonna look out for you, like God looked out for me. En una oportunidad, la canción va para mis hijas, para mis hijas. Para mis hijas, para mis hijas. I hope you understand, young as a man, I had a plan. Hope you comprehend what happened to that very same young man down in the land. Prince D's and Grams, and you know me, I was flowing above all of them. I was getting done. Everybody had a hit on me. I took over the squad, all murderers. I was the new version of Atilano. Shorty keep telling me yo te llamo, but I saw that biblical betrayal of when you give a woman your heart, the wrong one. She could destroy you. Be very careful. I already told you. Cógelo suave. Busca una mujer que te quiera de verdad. Y tiene que entender. Si esa mujer a ti no te quiere, te va a destruir. Hacer. Yo estaba en Cuba, escuché la explosión, se murieron 22, pero mi flow lo cantó. Yo camino descalzo, rezando, levantándolo, ayudando a todo lo que pueda ayudar. Solamente queda ese dolor eternal. Y en mi música yo lo voy a apreciar. Ya no van a sufrir más nada. En vivo yo te vengo a tocar. Tiene mi hombro si tú quieres llorar. llora conmigo. Gracias a Dios mío que usted está conmigo. Gracias a Dios mío que usted está conmigo. The car 5-6 million, you know I'm chillin'. Every day, nigga, I ain't in the kitchen. I'm flowing, I'm spinning. Every day, like, this is my religion. El mejor flow me lo dio Dios. Dime si te gustó. Mira ese mujerón, como él la metió. Ella le gustó mi flow. El tigre le cantó y le regaló un parte de mi corazón. Ella se sabe todita mis canciones. Ella sabe todita de mis lecciones. Deja la calle, ponte a trabajar, ponte a estudiar. Deja la esquina, no mire para atrás. Tu música, ponte a grabar, tírate fotos, ponte a grabar, par de videos, no te preocupes más nada. Tú vas a llegar al paso, primero tienes que tocar en vivo. Vete para allá, para la discoteca, donde están los blanquitos, ellos iban a pagar. Búscate una chatica, para que pueda ahorrar el dinero que tú puedes gastar en una botella. Lo que tú vayas a cobrar lo puedes dejar. Si tú quieres sacar una bepa, si tú quieres impresionarla, buscando una mesa y la chipa que trae la prueba con esa botella. Tú le compras a ella lo que ella quiere, para ella y pañola. Esa señora quiere estar conmigo, pero el tigre la ignora. Cógelo suave, yo quiero a tu tora. En la esquina yo solamente tenía cobra. Tú quieres una cora, pa' que pague el mira, pa' que te pueda parquear. Oiga señora, ella no entiende, porque ella no sabe que yo soy el presidente. Aquí yo estoy presente. Tú quieres mi autógrafo, pero ya yo te lo cobré. Ella pagó, yo también pagué. Le eché un pedazo, yo la enseñé. Después yo, tú sabes, le saqué los pies. Y tú no sabes que yo me la encontré en Miami. Yo estaba en la playa con la hija de ella. Ella se guiaba. Mira qué fácil, rápido los años pasan. Ella sabe que es buena morala. Ya yo me dejé de la hija de ella y ya yo me metí con su hermana. Ella es una doña, pero está operada, nuevecita, 0 millas en ese bollo. Yo le doy con este taladro, yo la adoro. Ella tiene un tro de cuarto. Bueno, ella fue que me tiró. Vamos a tener que sacarle la tarántula. You understand the word love is a word you can't really throw around. You have to understand what it takes for me to work this hard and have the crown. I took it as a... Vamos a tener que sacarle la tarántula. You understand the word love is a word you can't really throw around. You have to understand what it takes for me to work this hard and have the crown. I took it as a young man, but I had a plan. I hope you understand. Vamos a tener que sacarle la tarántula. You understand the word love is a word you can't really throw around. You have to understand what it takes for me to work this hard and have the crown. I took it as a young man, but I had a plan. I hope you understand. I'm going on tour again. I guess that's just a part of my life. You love my flow, my music. I know you love this dope, but listen, mama, I can't fuck with you hoes. Yeah, you take off your clothes. That's how you make your moves. I understand pause. Understand I'm not here to judge any of us. Judgment is reserved for God. All I can do is bless you with my bars. Vamos a tener que sacarle la tarántula. You understand the word love is a word you can't really throw around. You have to understand what it takes for me to work this hard and have the crown. I took it as a young man, but I had a plan. I hope you understand. I'm going on tour again. I guess that's just a part of my life. You love my flow, my music. I know you love this dope, but listen, mama, I can't fuck with you hoes. Yeah, you take off your clothes. That's how you make your moves. I understand pause. Understand I'm not here to judge any of us. Judgment is reserved for God. All I can do is bless you with my bars. Deep inside, you know you a superstar. I know you're attracted to my supercar, but that shit don't mean nothing, not far. I used to live my life in the fog. All my best friends in the mob. Everybody else lost it all. Do you understand all of the scars in my heart? I'm not judging your profession. I'm just letting you know my start. Back in the days before the bars and the cars and the clubs and the live performances and the tours. You know I had to get my shit together like you gotta get yours. You gotta really think about your life. Change that shit up. Go to school at night. You know you could work every day. Wake up early. Wake up when it's very bright. You have a beautiful mind. I don't understand why you wanna be a stripper for the rest of the time. You don't get tired of that champagne, the color of swine, the sun better to life. Let me show you how to drive. This a right-hand drive. JDM R33. It's pearl white. Vamos a tener que sacarle la tarántula. You understand the word love is a word you can't really throw around. You have to understand what it takes for me to work this hard and have the crown. I took it as a young man, but I had a plan. I hope you understand. I'm going on tour again. I guess that's just a part of my life. You love my flow, my music. I know you love this dope, but listen, mama, I can't fuck with you hoes. Yeah, you take off your clothes. That's how you make your moves. I understand pause. Understand I'm not here to judge any of us. Judgment is reserved for God. All I can do is bless you with my bars. Deep inside, you know you a superstar. I know you're attracted to my supercar, but that shit don't mean nothing, not far. I used to live my life in the fog. All my best friends in the mob. Everybody else lost it all. Do you understand all of the scars in my heart? I'm not judging your profession. I'm just letting you know my start. Back in the days before the bars and the cars and the clubs and the live performances and the tours. You know I had to get my shit together like you gotta get yours. You gotta really think about your life. Change that shit up. Go to school at and nights. You know you could work every day. Wake up early, wake up when it's very bright. You have a beautiful mind. I don't understand why you wanna be a stripper for the rest of the time. You don't get tired of the champagne, the color of swine, the sign better to life. Let me show you how to drive. This is a right-hand drive. JDM R33. It's pearl white, my old school shit. I got a little swap and a few turbos. You can drive for a little bit. I need you to concentrate on these bars that I'ma spit. You have the power to change the life that you live. I wish you the best. I ain't trying to preach. In reality, my words alone can teach. Just listen to the flows over these beats. Anything can be achieved if you have belief in your dreams. Believe in yourself. Eventually, you can cop that Jaguar with the V12. The old school shit. Save a few grips. Invest in a business and shit. In a few years, my love, you're rich. Find a man that's focused on his success. You ain't have this sex in the best to get a copy or one of his checks. All he's gonna say is who's next. You gotta give him something he cannot collect. Forever to you, he'll be in debt. But you gotta understand a few of the bars I just said. You don't gotta win a man's heart in the bed. In the bedroom, it's all good. But what about after the club? After the Bentley, interior with wood? You could change your life if you could. The more I think about it, the back of my McLaren looks like a Porsche. The back of my Lamborghini looks like a Porsche too. And a few of my Ferraris look like a Porsche. I should have just bought the Porsche. Mi amor, I should have bought you the Porsche. That's what A-Rod told Jennifer Lowe. Shorty was trifling on the low. That's why she went back. I seem like I saw before. Y'all already knew about my squad. Nueva York, la calle son mía. Santo Domingo, la calle son mía. Puerto Rico, la calle son mía. Cuba, libre, linda, la calle son mía. Latinoamérica, la calle son mía. Centroamérica, la calle son mía. Los Estados Unidos, la calle son mía. Canadá, mía. La calle son mía. Europa, bellísima. La calle son mía. El Medio Oeste, mi vida. La calle son mía. Asia, en vida. La calle es mía, el mundo entero oye mi lírica, es que la calle son mía. Gracias a Dios, mi vida está bendecida. Un día voy a recuperar a mis hijas. Todo lo que me falta, lo que yo a Dios le pedía, cada día, como yo sufría, lágrimas de vidria. Entiende mi vida. Estas son palabras de mi Biblia, esta es mi vida. Yo sé que te guía, no tengo envidia. Yo soy tu hermano de verdad, siempre te voy a apoyar, nunca te voy a dar la espalda. Papá. Yellow McLaren P1, my 2015 shit. Yellow McLaren P1, my 2015 shit. Sabe quién yo soy, I got the best flow en inglés y en español. Sabe quién yo soy, I got the best flow en inglés y en español. I got the best flow. They act like they don't know, so I gotta remind them, y'all. They ain't got no flows, they ain't got no bars, no songs, no albums. I wish them the best. What can I say? You dig? The strip is me, NYC is me. West Coast, Malibu estate by the beach. In the dirty South, in New Orleans, internationally. They heard me, heard my flows. I'm a GOAT, I don't need no support from this fake ass industry. I shit on all of y'all with my bars. Yo estoy con yo le doy a mi gente y a mi corazón. No pueden conmigo, McLaren P1, amarillo. Híbrido, tú quieres echar plan de carrera, ponte a pensar. Tú no puedes manejar esa máquina, Dios me la vino a regalar. Con mi música yo puedo comprar lo que yo quiera, pero tengo música eterna pa' mi gente. Yo sé que te llega, no me importa esta materia feca, toda esta vaina es material. A mí el dinero no me va a cambiar jamás. Let me know, steak, dummy, flow. Let me know, let me know, let me know, stay dummy, flow. Let me know, let me know, let me know, stay dummy, flow. Let me know, let me know, let me know, stay dummy, flow. McLaren P1 2015. You know the door is race for me. I'm not racing, driving through the streets. I cruise, flowing over these beats. I put it out in the streets. NFTs, everybody gon' eat. I got a company, very talented MC with the ability to flow so easily. God given talent to me. You can hate if you want hate. Trust me, the industry, I put them in their place a long time ago. For every one of your favorite artists, I got their whole catalog with flows in English and Espanol. I don't think they can compete with the God, word of God. The Holy Quran, the Torah, the Bible, all murderers remain my squad. El mejor soy yo. Dime si te gusta mi flow. El mejor soy yo. Dime si te gusta mi flow. El mejor soy yo. Dime si te gusta mi flow. El mejor soy yo. Dime si te gusta mi flow. Whipping my yellow shit in the nighttime so you can see my shit with chancletas and shit. Smoking my little blunt to the clip. Showing love to all the little kids from the villages that don't have shit. Blessing them with millions of dollars with the bars that I spit. Building condominiums in the campos and shit. No casa de campo, yo te tocando en vivo, tú me estás grabando. Busca el micrófono, yo te canto en vivo, yo no estoy cobrando. Los potes lo están sacando, la jevita del barrio ya está sancochando. I kept the factory ring stuff. Driving fiber, but I painted it black. Other side of the line is black. The intakes is black. My shit is yellow, and the rims don't match. Mama knew you wanna drive that. Stop it, I like that. I'm feeling like a rat. The Afghanistan, coming right back. 85 technology. Holla at me lyrically. I put it all for my peace, my seeds, my family, everybody that got a dream, fuck the dream. I'm nicer than all your favorite MCs. Machiavelli, B.I.G., my nigga Pun, Big L, flows, release. De lo que tú quieres a mí, tú no puedes compararme a mí. Este artículo Dios me lo dio a mí. Tú tienes odio, ninguna razón, porque te lo te lo regalo, te lo regalo. Brand new NFTs, I'm stand in the streets, fuck these on TV, flossing with green, got the long play, nigga please, brand new card, I'm putting hurricanes, signing 360s. I laugh at these fucking MCs. These niggas is funny to me, 40. Niggas ain't real, signing them bullshit ass deals. 40 million, not enough. 100 million ain't enough. 100 billion ain't enough. 100 trillion is enough. 200 trillion is enough. Y'all feelings gonna adjust. NFTs, we sign us. Shout out to my nigga Juju, my nigga Talent on the beats. Watch when I release the brand new collection of NFTs. Those suave, holla at me. The point be body. Me and Tony, baby, what you owe me? You know about my son Kobe, I flow like Shinobi. With the show todo Daito and the katana. Uno quiere pelear con un ninja que en su alma es un samurái. Black Center, GTR. Just a brand new type R. Brand new Center, GTR. This my brand new type R. Maneja mi vaina, yo sé que te va a gustar mi música, yo te la voy a sacar todos los fucking días, yo te la voy a sacar todos los fucking días, no van a hacer nada, ellos quieren rapear, pero su vida no es como la mía, mi vida es de verdad, mi vida es de verdad. Este talento me lo dio Dios. Do you like the flow? En inglés, en español, chame si te gustó. I switch it up, pasando los cambios. I switch it up, pasando los cambios. En inglés, en español, I'ma hit them with a single bar, single song, single flow, single album. They gon' destroy, no existe más. They gon' destroy, no existe más. I had the best flow, cause I got the best heart, best soul, best faith in God. I made it, I passed the test. I made it, I passed the test. La industria gon' write that check. The industria gon' write that check. I'm better than your roster, bitch. I'm better than your roster, bitch. Soy un mafioso, este es mi monopolio. Dios me bendició a mí, gracias a Jesucristo. Que tú tienes mi nuevo disco. Gracias a Jesucristo. Que tú tienes mi nuevo disco. Todos los chamaquitos caminan conmigo. Toda esa jevita vienen cuando yo toco en vivo. Tú estás conmigo. Con el mejor flow, vámonos. Con el mejor flow, vámonos. Estamos despegando. Estamos despegando. Puta para bueno, puta para sabes, yo soy cuando mi ella es número se monta fuma, pero sí, lo afuera, acabó, chapa, ella se como que hay la cola de mi vieja, paso, vámonos, pues para allá, busca chica, vamos a Punta Cana, o si no, Puerto donde fue mamá, a la romana, pasa la terrena, mira, la tarifa, vamos a estudia más, Amazon, a la punta, vamos, si no voy a ver, la banda, la banda, la banda, la banda, la máquina, viviendo mal, sabe que yo mundo técnico, soy me encanta, esto solamente todo lo mismo, give me amarillo, tranquilo, santo poquito, le falta la visa para yo llevármela para Suiza. Ella le encanta como yo le hablo, está afuerita en su tanguita. Phantom, R1, cuerpo. Ella está demasiado buena, yo me la quiero para ella, vengo yo, afuera, donde está ella sola y ella, monta activándolo, mi jeva, yo la estoy enamorando a ella le encanta como ella presenta, la sociedad, mi vida no se va, con que se va a quedar, yo te lo voy a mostrar, que la quiero, sabe mi jeva, está demasiado buena, mira el cuerpo que tiene, mira cómo ella se pelea, adentro que nadie quiere estar, esa que va, mira ese cuerpo que tiene, 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 esa que va, como está demasiado buena, yo me la tengo que llevar a ella, a vestir el cabello a ella, pues a ella le encanta a ella, viste para acá, usted a mediar. Pero la verdad, mami, dime la verdad. No me han dicho lo que va a pasar. Yo le pregunto a esa me la lleva. Como que ella me dice para ver, usar. Como que ella es haitiana. Pero le encanta brillar, me encanta como ella me baila. Esa bachata me rinde, reggaetón de ritmo. Mami, lo que tú quieres. Esa bachata me rinde, reggaetón de ritmo. Yo lo que tú quieres. Ella se mueve, ella está fuera, hace lo que ella quiera. Yo le digo que ordene, no la botella que ella quiere. El cuerpo que tiene esa que ve, ya ese cuerpo que tiene esa que va, ya el cuerpo que tiene esa que va, ya ese cuerpo que tiene esa que va, ya el cuerpo que tiene esa que va, ya ese cuerpo que tiene esa que va, ya el cuerpo que tiene esa que va, ya ese 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 cuerpo que tiene esa que va. No me la llevo donde ella quiera, cuando ella quiera, cuando ella quiera. No me la llevo donde ella quiera, cuando ella quiera, cuando ella quiera. No me la llevo donde ella quiera, cuando ella quiera, cuando ella quiera. Tú me la llevo donde ella quiera, cuando ella quiera, cuando ella quiera. Tú me la llevo donde ella quiera, cuando ella quiera, cuando ella quiera. Tú me la llevo donde ella quiera, cuando ella quiera, cuando ella quiera. No te pongas bobo. Y yo no sé, te lo código. Y el libro yo le decía a mi beba, sabe que yo sé de ella, sabe de la vida, ella se menea, yo estoy con ella, de la amarilla me pega, yo le mira para la ceja, no te pongas bobo, y yo no sé, te lo código. Viví el libro de mi piano, ya es de verdad, yo le decía a mi beba, sabe que yo sé de ella, sabe de la vida, ella se menea, yo estoy con ella, de la amarilla me pega, yo le mira para la ceja, enamorarte, tengo que clavarte, tú sabes que mira, como lo hizo vamos a dispararte, ¿qué te está pasando? Vamos a enseñarte, el juego vamos a cambiar, vamos a coger para allá, para la playa donde tú quieres estar. Yo te vengo a buscar en la máquina de capital, de la capota que te eche para atrás, cabeza, que va a bailar, tú sabes que tú tienes que bailar, yo te voy a cantar, me la voy a enseñar, si tú porque tienes que bailar, enamorado, realidad, estoy aficionado, no te visto solo, los días yo estoy tocando, haciendo siempre una fiesta, tú sabes que estoy colocando, que estamos pillando, que la máquina que está bajando, si lo que cambiar, tu mamá está rapeando, que lo estoy enseñando, de la vieja escuela lo estoy grabando, el no me entiende, el miedo que está comenzando, que se estaba meneando, estaba apretando, la estaba cancelando, ella me agarraba de la mano, mira la cadena. A mi espera, nena, solta ella, sabe mi greba, quiere cantar, se menea, mira la arena, mira esa tanga, quiere porque que me llama, si no la contestaba, los tigres odiaban, en su alma, de que yo odiaban, porque yo le decía, cuando yo estaba, en la playa, sin una sábana, se vea yo, condenado, pero podemos mira esa cañita verde como mi hierba, verde como mi hierba, verde como mi hierba, verde como mi hierba. Los sueños, pero con amor. Peter Pan, Peter Pan, Peter Pan, yo soy un tigre, mami, sabes que afuera, montate en esa máquina, yo te voy a enseñar a manejar, vaya, mami, para la playa, sola, ella siempre estaba afuera, yo siempre ella viene con esa mira que llega, mira como ella te quema, solamente mirada, se llama Mayra, yo quiero enamorarla, no le diga a ella, Jaira, que me va a bailar Eva, yo voy a gaitearla, yo voy a gaitearla. No se vaya, por favor, vaya Jaira, no le diga, yo me voy a Una amiga quería, decía, me hacía, me manda, mencionaba y no me decía la vaina de la forma adecuada. Ahora yo voy a celebrarla, sabe que yo voy a bailarla, en la playa voy a abrazarla, afuera, ella me masacra, ella todas las amigas que yo necesitaba adentro de la vida mía. Ella me decía que me quería cuando yo le cantaba mi bachatica. Ella se meneaba, ella le tocaba, yo cantaba cuando le cantaba, cuando le rozaba, cuando le cantaba. Ella se meneaba, a mí me tocaba, ella cocinaba, pan, pan, y me quedaba, pan, pan. Ella cocinaba, pan, pan, y yo me quedaba, pan, pan. Panama, one, Panama. Oye, tírate para atrás, tírate para atrás, tírate para atrás, tírate para atrás. Tírate mami, tírate mami, tírate mami, tírate para atrás, tírate mami, tírate mami. Cuando yo llego para la discoteca, tú sabes que estoy buscando a ella. Mi Eva, mi princesa, mira qué buena. Ella llega con su jipeta, no le digo, ella rápido, yo le doy museo a ella le gusta el museo. Vamos a buscar, vamos a brillar. Vete mami, vete mami, vete mami, ella se menea, mira cómo me deja, ella me enferma, mi enfermera, ella se menea, me tica para atrás, en la pared, en la rodilla, la boca, la mano, y luego vuelta, ella se va a mi viaje para demostrar lo que ella se fue a arreglar. Esa vaina, qué buena ella está, una princesa para mi madre, le decía a ella, mami, ella no se una piscina, yo estaba en la esquina, cocinando, cazando días, ella me veía, la cocinaba, y me invitaba, ven acá, mami, oye, ven acá, mami, ven acá, mami. Ella está demasiado buena, ¿sabes? Y yo quiero solamente cantarla, ¿sabes? Esa es la verdad, tengo que declarar mucho más que mi amistad. Yo quiero estar con esa Eva. Vamos, dale mamá, échate para atrás, te quiero pegar, yo te quiero ganar, mami, como una matada de guayaba. Cuídate, mami, échate para atrás, cuídate, mami, échate para atrás, cuídate, mami, tírate para atrás. Yo vine aquí a buscar cuarto y no sé tu cuarto. Venom on one. Them es que no quiero que te tire. A la cara de tiro. Ella quiere coger para allá, no la voy a buscar. Ella quiere coger para allá, no me la voy a llevar. Quiere fumar y quiere janguear, yo voy a enseñar cómo se puede. Me ría mi perra, mi jeva, reina mi entera. Tú sabes que yo quedo con ella. Ella me está haciendo mi mueca, tú sabes que yo quedo con ella. Ella me está haciendo mi mueca, ella sabe que yo soy un tigre de la calle. Ella sabe que yo soy un tigre de la calle, un tigre de la calle, un tigre de la calle. Ella sabe que yo soy un tigre de la calle. Yo tengo que enseñarle, tú sabes cómo se hace. Esta vez quiere menearse, a la retina hay que jalarte. Ven acá, trae a tu tus amigas, coge pa' acá, trae a tu amiguita, coge pa' allá. Ven a bailar, tú quieres brillar, hacer lo que tú quieras, como tú quieras, vamos pa' afuera, ella era, sola, ella era, vamos pa' afuera, tú sabes que ella era, sola, ella era, como ella era, que está afuera. Ella era, como ella era, sola, ella era, blanquita o morena. Quiero la mucho, tú sabes que ella se hace sorpresa, ella baila, ella es la alba condensa, ella es mi leche, que está condensada, mamá dime tú la verdad, quieres fumar, quieres jangar, quieres beber, quieres beber más, un toquecito, vamos a relax, la mamá, Juana, si quieres mamá, si quieres jangar, si quieres fumar, vuelta la hierba, todo ya tú sabes de ella. Ella le preguntó a la amiga si ella quería otra ujida. Ella le preguntó a la amiga si ella quería otra ujida. Ella le preguntó a la amiga si ella quería otra ujida. Ella le preguntó a la amiga si ella quería una ujida. Ella es una bandida. Mira cómo ella suda. Si me da arriba. Tan querida. Como una chelita. Es la era. Ella daba, ella María, se le veía esa carita anaranjada, mira cómo ella brilla. Gracias a Dios mío que ella está en mi vida, la tengo en la mira.